Oh my goodness, I've been listening to Eckhart on YouTube, and it made me think about Eve, how in the garden she met Satan. And Eckhart always talks about, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but how he always talks about the present moment, being in the now, is how you can get connected and start being more spiritually aware and awaken your self, and not be in the future or in the past, because there's only the present. You know how he says that? It made me think why why it was called the fall of man, and why is because he made her think. You think about, he made her think about the future. He made her, and so that's why he took her away from the now. He took her away from seeing, from just being. He talks about just being, and we're always wanting to do things and always reaching for something and stressing ourselves out. Because just think, if you're just in the present, like when you're meditating, are you stressed out about anything? No, because you're just existing instead of doing. So it made me think, they say people who support Satan or whatever, they always say he made her think. That's why it's good. But thinking isn't always good, because when you think, you stress out. But when you're just, because just think about it. Eve, she was just, they were all just lollygagging, or not I don't know what that means, but I guess it means something for it to come out, the Holy Spirit, but her, Adam and Eve were just, they were just basically in meditative state, weren't caring about anything, just being, just doing and stuff. I mean, just like, not doing, but just being present with the with everything, like just being engulfed and everything. And then when somebody comes and it's kind of like how people are, where they make you, they're like, oh, you need to think about the future. You need to care more. You need to they make you think that you need to stress to be alive, and that the only thing that matters in life is to do something. That's like, you have to strive to be something instead of just being. They think that stressing is actually what is something that you need to do, but really, everything already will come together, and all that stress is for nothing, because what's going to be is already going to be. You're already going to be led. If you're either going to be led by the Spirit or be led by the devil, by stress, by the darkness. And then you're already going to get there anyway, so why not be in the present? Because the present, there's no stress in the present when you're just in the present instead of thinking about the future. I remember he also said that the past is also the present, because you're thinking about the past and you're not in the past. So when somebody hurts you, I always thought about this now after he said this. When somebody hurts you or hurts your feelings, it's in the past already, because it already happened. So you're making it in the present. So that's why you should focus on the present, because everything else will be in the past. And so that's why you shouldn't let the past or the future get into the present, because it causes stress. That's what Satan did with Eve. He made her think when she didn't have to. He made her question when she didn't have to. She was already just fine with how she was, until people put these mental constructs, like, you should be this, you should be that, you should try this, you should try that, and they get in your mind, and so their words become your thoughts, and your thoughts become your outlook. And so we always think we have to, even when you're sitting down, you always think about the future, even though the future isn't now. It's just in your mind. And so you have all these expectations, and when they don't come, you're so upset because those expectations became your present, and the future never came, because it never will come, because the future is always in your present. It's always something that you reach for. It's always something that hasn't happened, because if you're always in the future thinking about the future, then you're never going to reach it. You're never going to reach it because you're always reaching for something that isn't now, isn't here. So that's why it just made me realize, and God has been really putting that in my mind about Eve. He keeps on saying, Eve, focus on Eve, focus on Adam and Eve. So it's just so beautiful when you just think about it. And I think it's so beautiful in how he said that God is the present. So he wants us to be in the present, and he doesn't want us to stress about it, because stress doesn't help us. It only makes the road harder for us. And when you think about the future, it makes it harder for you to act, to just flow. And it's like, so that's why pain has to come, so that we can get burnt out on it, and get burnt out on thinking, because it becomes too overwhelming. And so we have nowhere else to go but within ourselves. And within ourselves is the Holy Spirit, is our connection with Source, which is God, which is the creator of a creation, which is us. And so I just found that so beautiful. And we need to forget about our body, but remember our actual spirit, and remember that this is the link. The world is a link between heaven and hell. And so God is just showing us like the future and the past is hell, and the present is heaven. And we're not used to it because the world isn't used to it. The world is used to the hell side of living, which is distracting ourselves from the present with things and with music and with anything. And so that's why when you get older, usually you become less stressed out, is because you have more time to face the pain that you have been running from. So that's why a lot of people who meditate or stuff, spiritual awakens causes physical pain, because your body has been so used to numbing it down, distracting yourself from it, and you don't know that you're in the pain because you've always ran from the pain, or you've always been used to the pain, or people make it normal. And so it's like you're conditioned to it. So just know that when you take away all those distractions, all that pain that you have been running from, that when you start actually feeling it, it starts, you become, in a higher vibration, closer to God, closer to the Holy Spirit. You've taken away those demons away from you, that negativity, those, like they say, those lower entities that you have been so used to being around, being inside of you. And you will always be around it on the earth, because you will always be in the middle of heaven and hell, while we're here on earth. So it's amazing, because it's like God is showing us that he's letting us decide. See, he's letting us have a choice. Like Satan he chose, so he's letting us choose that, do you want to see how heaven is, or do you want to stay where hell is? Or he's giving us a middle ground to choose from. So I think that's so beautiful. And it might hurt now, but in the present, one day it won't matter about what happened to us. It will only matter where we are now. Well, thank you. And if you would do anything with your life, first, I know the Bible in this book. So thank you for listening. Bye.